Hi guys, let us create another example that we'll use Hibernate here, and through Hibernate we'll see how to list out all the records of our table. Last example we have seen that how to store the record. So we have used here save. If you remember, we have used here save, so that record has been inserted. Now next I have a target to list out all the records. Okay, so close it here, and then I just say new project. This is again a non-managed environment, I mean just a basic Java project. So I'll give a name here that list item details using Hibernate. Okay, using Hibernate. And then finish it. Yes. Okay, this is my next example. Here I'll just go to right click, and then I'll say new, and I'll say here package, and I have package com dot example. Okay, finish it. Now I'll create a bin. So if you remember, I have created this item bin in the previous example. Item, right, having item ID, item name, and quantity, right? So I just copy this bin from here to say copy, and I just say here paste. So I created one item bin here. So this item bin is having three properties, that is item ID, item name, and quantity. Okay, and there's a getter setter method for the item bin, if you can see here. Now close it. I'll go here, right click, and then say here new. Sorry, just go to your my clips and then say add Hibernate capabilities. Which version you want to use, select it from the this list, 3 or 3.0, 3.1, and then say next. This is your configuration file. Next, here you have to select your configuration. So we have already created one driver in last example. If you remember, if you go through this example, first example, there we have created one driver for MySQL. So we are selecting the same driver here now, and dialect is MySQL again. And I'll say here next. What is the package you have? So just select com.example, and then say finish. So once, if you add Hibernate capabilities, you can see here the Hibernate libraries has been added. What are the required libraries we are having, like XML APIs, jerseys, .jar file, log4j, ZTA, ZDBC, okay, Jackson and Jazz, Hibernate 3.jar. This is having basic Hibernate APIs. So similarly, we are having some of the NTLR sm.jar file. Now this is item.java. Now sorry, yeah. Now this is what we are having configurations for our MySQL driver and dialect, right? If you can see here. If you go to the configuration, so what I said here now, I just we have ready with the configuration. Now I'll go to the configuration and say add, and I'll say here HBM dot two dot dll, sorry, 2 dot 2 dll dot auto equal to, I'll just say here update. Okay, update. Okay, if you want to see the query, I just say here add, and here say show SQL, and then you write here true. Done. Now here we add the mapping file, but we have not created till now any HBM file for our item bin. So let us come back to here, and this is my item HBM. If you remember, in this example we have created, I just copy and paste it in this package here. So paste. So this is my item poser class, and this is the item.hbm, I mean Hibernate mapping file here. So Hibernate mapping package is com.example, same item name, class name is item, and item details is the table name, item ID is the column, item name is the another column, quantity is another column, right? And that column name is here, but this is a property which I declare in the item table. Clear? Now, so I mean item HBM file is ready also. Next, what we have to do here, come back to this place and come to this configuration here. So I think you understood this configuration file clearly, that here we are using Hibernate configuration. In the configuration we are having session factory, and that session factory is having the username, property, connection URL, right, dialect, and profile, password, driver class, and these two property which I said earlier, right? Now I'll go back here and we'll add the HBM file that we have just copied from there, item.hvm file. Okay, so now the source has been added. If you come back to here, so it is listing your mapping resource hbm.xml, right? So save this configuration file. So this has been done now. Now we'll go here and we'll make a one inventory client program where I will try to display the records, right? Okay, so let us say here what we have to do. We have to create a class here, new class. I can write here the name like main class. Okay, anything you can give, it will have a main method. Okay, and yeah, let us say it is a manager. It's not look good, say it is a manager class. Okay, manager for we'll make a manager for all rows, manager of all rows. Okay, any name you can give here. So finish it. Okay, this is my main method. Here we have to do the connection and we'll get it all the details. So what we can do, we'll make a one item here. I'll say here item I1 equal to new item. Okay, I just created one object here, right? So here I have item class. If you can see, just close this application. Now created object of bean. So what I'm doing here, creating bean, creating object for item bin, right? Okay, next what we have to do, we have to configuring our Hibernate framework. So how we do, configuration from the org hibernate.cfg package, and then say config equal to new configuration. configuration, right? Dot configure. So what we have done, this is our first step, that we have configuring Hibernate. Okay. Second step is what? We have to create session factory. So create session factory. How we'll do? We'll write here session factory, okay, from org hibernate package, sf equal to config dot confi, right? I created object config dot build section factory first statement semicolon. So we have got the session factory object. With the help of this session factory, now third step is what? You have to obtain the session now. So get session object now. Get session object. Okay. How we'll do? So we will write here session from org hibernate ss, or let us create ses equal to sf dot get session, get open session, sorry, just say a dot open session. So we have got the session now. With the help of this session we can fire some query, okay, but before doing that, start your transaction. For starting transaction, how we can start the transaction? We have a transaction API, transaction tran equal to what? Session dot begin transaction. So we have started the transactions. Now we will fire a query, select record, right? But we need not to fire a query, Hibernate will do that job. So now we'll write, I just say 5 listing items. Whatever items we are having, now we'll list it. How we can list? So we'll take a one list, and here I will say what kind? Item kind. So I'll say here li equal to, or I just say items, right, equal to says dot create criteria, create criteria, and pass the class name here. What class name we will give? What is the class name you have? The bin name, that is a item dot class, right? Item dot class dot list. So this guy has given you whole records of the item details table, 2 items. Now we have to iterate, okay, we have to iterate and display it. So how will display? We can use here for each loop, and I'll say item I equal to, sorry, colon items, right, open close, and then finally we'll say here tran dot commit. Now if I am getting the item, I have to display all the items, right? So what I will do here, system out dot println and I will write here like I just say system on repeat line I dot get item ID first if you're looking for, plus give a space, or you want some tab kind of things. Okay, then plus I dot get item name, right, and then plus give a tab, and again I say plus I dot get item quantity or get quantity, right. So all this data will display here now. This list is from the util package, so you have to import your java.util, right. So you can see we have imported all the package now, and we have listed here, right. So what is the next now? We have to run this code. So just say here, I hope this whole code that I've written in front of you is clear to all of you. Okay, so now just say right click, run as Java application. Yeah, so we have got the output now. We have done some mistake here. We have written this wrong slash. It should be this backslash, right. And that's why if you notice here slash t has come in between, because in my table, if you just go to the MySQL client here and just say here admin, and if you say use database name was the Isaac DB, and I say so tables here, and I say select star from item, right. uh, I don't think this is the record we have. Just I just say so databases here. Oh, so our data was inventory, if you remember, inventory, and then I say select star from item. So it was item details, right. Yeah, so look at here, this is our table, item ID, item name, quantity, 1 2, there's a two items only, right. So same item it is listing here, 1 Park Avenue 50, 2 Ponds 30, right. Now if I just display one line here again on the top, paste here, and say instead of writing like this, just say here item ID, right, and here I say item name, and then I say quantity. So one heading will come on the top. Okay, so let us try now again. I just saved it. I just run this code again, run application. So you can look at this, select this dot item ID as item ID, some column name is there, right. So this query has been fired, that table is item details here, right. So we are getting the whole records display here. This is a bracket, so it's coming. So I hope all of you understood how to list out all the records from the table. So I'm using here create criteria and passing the item, so it is listing whole items here. I have not written any query here, select a star from. So Hibernate is firing one query and giving me the returns, right? We are using the complete oops concept here. So that's all about listing all the records.